And our conversation with Julio Gonzalez today is brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. He was right there helping to design the tax reform package of 2017. He knows his stuff, and he's here to tell us about stimulus payments. Did you get it? Did you not? What about claiming it on your taxes? There are tons of issues. Julio, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you with us here today. I hope I didn't build you up there too much.
I appreciate the buildup.
All right, so when you have things that happen so quickly as they did during the pandemic and so many different efforts to reach out and to help people, you know that it's not going to always go as smoothly as you would like. And that was the case with stimulus payments. So we hear all kinds of stories about people that didn't get payments, people that got them that didn't want them or didn't deserve them. Some people who are dead that got them, all of those things. The rollout wasn't the smoothest in the world, and there are some real ramifications because of it. Is that right?
Well, that's exactly right. And, the good thing is that for people that did miss it, that didn't get the payment, we had 2 stimulus checks go out last year. We can correct that on the tax return. So when you're doing the tax return, on the second page of the top, line 30, is a line there where you can calculate the missed credits that you had on the first stimulus payment, the ones that you missed on the second. There's a form on page 59 of the instructions for the 1040 simple worksheet. Calculate those, put that on that line, and those monies will be refunded to you. So, look, not all lost. I mean, I'm sure it was very frustrating not to receive those payments, but now there's a mechanism so that you can get that refunded.
That's very important, isn't it? My goodness.
Yeah. So it's great that you're right. When you have these stimulus and you have these bills come up, a lot of unintended things happen. But ultimately, this one we're able to fix. So, not all is lost. Get that tax return filed in. Make sure you put that calculation on line 30 of your 1040 and make sure you get that money back.
Yeah. So explain that again for layman's people, because here's someone who's saying to themselves, when I turn in my taxes, I'm telling them what I earned, and here's your tax share of it, and here's what I get to keep. But now you're saying with this particular thing, it's a way for you to claim monies that you didn't get but should have.
That's absolutely right. So, last March we had a stimulus check that went out $1,200 per person, $500 for eligible children under 17, right? So that was the first one that came out. Now we had a second one that came out at the end of the year. That was $600 per eligible person, right, and $600 for the children as well. So those things you can now calculate. How much of that money did I not receive that just never got to me? Let's add those dollars up. Let's put that on line 30 of your 1040, and now you'll get that money back as a refund once your tax return's processed.
Wow, that is going to be a windfall for some people that might not even know that money was coming, and now they're going to open their eyes a little bit and say, I got to look into this, because that's just money that is sitting there that has been already taken care of for me, and I didn't get it. Do you find that there are people who aren't even aware of whether or not they got stimulus payments or should have?
Yeah, I mean, there's so little awareness for a lot of people, like you said, and so this is an opportunity to make sure that if you put it on there, and now the IRS could say it did go out, but maybe you didn't receive it, maybe it went out fraudulently. Some people, we've heard of those stories too. This will be the reconciliation. They'll check their system. If you're right and it's on there and you did miss it, you'll get the money.
And you don't have to worry about somebody else. If somebody did fraudulently get yours, that's the IRS's business. It's not yours. You don't have to worry about that.
That's right, and they'll be able to see all that, through automation, and hopefully then this will all get sorted out and you'll get your check, and maybe that's some good news for some people that desperately need some money right now.
Absolutely. Julio, as you have watched over the course of the last 10 months, along with the rest of us, the way that the country responded to people who were thrown out of work, who had their situations in life changed, did the United States respond well?
Well, I'm here in Florida, so I feel like here in Florida we responded well. We never really shut down. I think that other states didn't do the same thing, and I think for those states it's been very difficult for small businesses to stay in line. And let's think about this. When the stimulus bills came out, it was hard for these small businesses to understand, how do I qualify for the PPP loan, right? It was very hard to understand. They don't have the resources. In that last stimulus bill we did in December, we made it more easy for the small businesses to have access to the community banks. So, for small businesses, having that relationship with your community bank and an accountant that can help you through these things is always very helpful.
Yeah, you can certainly see that. Plus, people dealing with multiple agencies, state governments and federal governments, and then the agencies within those two entities. It's awful confusing for folks. And here they're just trying to keep their heads above water. And it's not like they have financial experts sitting in the next office over. These are mom and pop stores in a lot of cases.
And without the resources to, understand all these things that happened last year. Now, the good thing is we can catch up if you didn't get your stimulus check, we can catch that up on the tax return. If you didn't get your PPP loan, there's still funds available, and there's community banks across the country now that you can walk in, and they'll walk you through it, and they'll help you out. There's also assistance at local chambers as well. So, make sure you take advantage of these resources, because if those monies can help you, and remember those PP funds that maybe you didn't take advantage of, they're forgiven. So, if you use them for the right things, so it could be some money still out there and some hope.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we are. We're looking at 3 to 6 inches of snow with ice on top of it today here in Indiana, PA. Julio's sitting out by the pool with a nice glass of iced tea, and he's enjoying the sunshine in Florida. But we're not jealous, Julio, at all. As you are, as you are sitting there and thinking about tax season, and it's now open. It's open season for your taxes. You can get those in. Is it going to be difficult for people with all of the different things that came their way in 2020? Is it going to be more difficult for people to actually do their taxes themselves? Do they need pros in order to get this done?
Well, it's good to have a good accountant, right? We changed 1,800 pages of tax law, right? A lot of this was for small businesses. Now, there's a lot of online resources to understand and get a summary of what those mean for you. In terms of tax credits for your businesses, for your personal individual homes. So, just take advantage of those resources. They're online. You can Google them for small business guides. And, a lot of that information is starting to get out so that when you do file your tax return, you have some information. And also, let's think about this. It doesn't hurt to have a good accountant that can walk you through all these changes.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. He's with Engineered Tax Services. Julio Gonzalez with us this morning. What are some of the resources that we can tap into, Julio?
Yeah. So if you go online to the SBA, there's a lot of information and resources there. So it's SBA.gov. Also, the United States Chamber of Commerce has some great resources as well that you can use. If you're at the age, AARP has a lot of resources as well.
All right. There you go, boys and girls. That's what you got to do. Line 30 of your 1040, correct?
That's right.
Line 30s. That's the key. Thanks so much, Julio. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Sitting in the Florida sun, I'll tell you. It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, 101.1 FM and AM 1160.